and he's about to sit down. He's wearing a shirt that says, "Joan waste your toimony, the voice inside." Did you create the shirt when you were under the influence of some sort of substance? No. Okay. Yeah. Let's get to it. What are you waiting for? Come on, man. I'm good. Yeah. What did you bring me? Oh. Yeah. Thank you. Do you want a seltzer water? Thank you very much. We can see that. Yeah, they can see that. I'll just audio describe for the Spotify listeners.
We should do this, huh? Okay, so...
What do you got there?
There's a Crash Pad Imperial Hazy.
Okay, thank you very much.
I don't know if it's too early to be drinking right now.
It's 5 o'clock right now as we're speaking.
Perfect. I don't know what that is. That's a new one I haven't heard of.
Lager Helles? Okay. I like... yeah, these are all good choices, my man.
Then another IPA.
Oh, beautiful. I'm going to stick with this hazy IPA.
Cool. And then there's a pumpkin in here. That was Oktoberfest.
Ooh, it is October. That's right.
And this is a pumpkin ale.
Okay. Very cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. This is probably the...
Good timing.
Yeah. I appreciate you bringing gifts. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much.
Of course, man.
How's your weekend?
Crazy. It was good.
Crazy good?
Yeah. I feel like I'm just getting back home.
Where were you?
I was in Tennessee, and then Kentucky, and then Pittsburgh.
You know, the funny thing about Tennessee is I botched that joke. I was going to say, you're the only 10 I see, but anyways, never mind.
The only 10 I see.
Yeah, that was terrible. Tennessee,
11.
okay.
Yeah, so just playing a couple shows, and then I was with my family in Pittsburgh for the Jewish high holidays.
Awesome.
And then I came right back to Austin and had 12 hours at home, and went right back to Midtown to Folk Alliance.
Okay.
And I just got back from that yesterday. So I was in town, but not at home.
That's quite a quick sprint.
It was.
Why?
This is my life now, man.
Okay.
It's I feel like just things are never sitting still. And it's getting crazier, and I'm loving it, but I'm always scatterbrained if that.
That's pretty much where I'm at. I'm actually writing my next Instagram post about how it's kind of like a feast or famine thing, There's always a feeling that you never know when the next job's going to come, so you don't have to, but there's a pressure to take everything that comes your way.
Yes. I talk about this all the time. I'm so glad you understand that.
Right.
You're going to have your Januaries where there's nothing going on, and then you're SOL for how many months, and you're pulling out of savings and thinking about driving Uber again, and whatever comes.
Dude, that's awesome. If I had the car to drive Uber, I would definitely pick that up, but I have a coupe, and so that's also kind of on its way out. I had to bang on the console for the AC to kick in, so I'm like, that's going to be expensive down the line, but this good old tap on the console will kick it into gear, and I'll be able to cool myself down. But yeah,
it's like the classic like Monsters Inc. car, like you slap it and then
right,
kind of like roars to life.
Works. Yeah. Have you ever driven for Uber?
No. I've been lucky. I've done my absolute damnedest to make all of my living in the last 3 years on just art, and I haven't really side hustled much.
Okay.
I'm doing a little bit of photography, actually. That's the exception.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can talk about that also. I want to pick your brain at some point.
Absolutely. So what came of these events that you were at?
So the first one, I just happened to be in the Nashville area. Okay. And there was a venue I played at last year on my tour that they happened to be open that night, and I drove a little bit outside Nashville to go hang out with them. So that was the first night. Second night was a wedding from the tour I was on last year. Somebody saw me play and invited me to come back for their daughter's wedding.
That's very cool.
It was awesome. And that was a little bit outside of Lexington, Kentucky.
Talk a little bit about that transaction. Did they reach out to you via Instagram, via email? Did they get your info at the show?
Email.
Okay.
It's been really cool to see, talking about always staying busy, that just opens up new opportunities. So somebody sees you play live, or they just meet you in passing, and then all of a sudden you have an inbox full of, hey, do you have this date available 12 months from now? And I'm very grateful for that. But then you're always just thinking ahead, where are you going to be next fall?
Yeah, that's because, okay, so in that instance, obviously it's a wedding that you're playing, so it's kind of like solidified in the books. But there's been times when I've like said yes to everything and then, or months in advance, and I book that date, and then all of a sudden another project comes in, and I'm like, well, shit. Had I known the budget, I would have not done the thing, and I feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, well, I already said yes to this, so I can't really back out on that.
Yeah. Depends how bad you want to do the new thing.
Right. And then a lot of it comes, like, for whatever reason, it just lines up to where it's back-to-back jobs, and I'm like, going back to the same point, I really don't want to do back-to-back shoots, but it's for the bank account, so why not?
For sure. So I'm glad you did the thing. How was San Antonio this morning?
San Antonio, brother. It sucked ass.
The gig or the drive?
Well, first off, San Antonio, it fucking sucks because there's never ending construction in that damn city. It's just constant, like, building of overpasses. There's constant, like, what lane am I in? Is this going to change into? Oh, no. Yeah, here I am in another lane on the far right side. So it's really weird construction going on. And then the building that we were in. So I started with, hey, I only do photography or portraits now in studio settings because I need space to operate in, and I'm just tired of trying to work around my garage and the bike rack and all that stuff. So I always want to shoot in a studio now. And this particular client was like, well, one, can you do it for half your price, and can you do it in San Antonio? And again, that feast or famine thing, I was like, well, this kind of goes against my company policies, but yes. So get to this office location. It's kind of like a shared workspace, but I get to the 6th floor, and I greet the secretary. And I go, hey, I'm Ramon Mejia with the Resolute Media. I'm taking some photos here. And he goes, okay, who are you with? And I totally blanked on the guy's name and his company. But found out he was a private investigator, so he's starting his own company. And I told him the name. And the secretary was like, okay, this is your conference room. You can only shoot in here, and you can't move the furniture. I go, okay, well, that's not what I had planned, but sure. Can we shoot outside on the property premises? And he goes, no. I go, okay. And then as I'm walking down the hallway, I see a lady taking a selfie on her cell phone, and then I just chirp up. I'm like, so are people allowed to take selfies in this office? And he goes, well, yeah, we don't really know that they're going to do it. So yeah, they can take selfies. I'm like, okay, interesting. Cool. And I'm like, well, this is very confining. So the client was totally fine. He was okay. I shouldn't say okay. He was great to work with, easy to work with. Older gentleman, true cowboy boots, and a suit set up. But it turned out to be a really easier job given the confinement of where we were at. So
you made the most of it.
I did, yeah, and that was just me trying to be a professional. But the moment he said I couldn't shoot where I wanted to shoot, I was just like, how dare you tell me what I can and can't do? This is not the job. I'm a creative. Let me be creative.
Yeah.
But I had to follow their policy, and it was fine.
That's annoying, though. Yeah. It puts handcuffs on the thing that you were brought to bring.
Yeah. So that was unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then, I just had an hour commute back, and it was only a 30-minute job, and all things considered, it was pretty easy. So I was like, all right, I'm glad I didn't make a big stink about it, but... yeah,
they might hire you again.
Maybe we'll see if I want to do it again.
You'd be like,
I think for now it's studio only, just off of that experience. So now I have that in my back pocket and be like, yeah, it is what it is. We got to do it at studio, or otherwise I'm sorry, I just can't come. So
you need to write your rules, man.
I know.
You bring a lot to the table.
I try to. Yeah, I try to. What are some of your written rules when you go perform at a location for a client?
It's weird now, man, because it used to be just very straightforward. You show up at a bar, like, you just never know what you're gonna get, and that's it. The orchestra gigs like really had me spoiled for a long time because you're always inside, you're always in the air conditioning. There's always a chair for you, and they usually have a music stand. You know what you're playing note for note. It's that kind of stuff. But then when you deviate, especially into private events, and everything's one off. Yep. Everything is fly by the seat of your pants. There's no standard. So the more you can do to standardize and set expectations, I never take a private event anymore without a contract and a deposit.
Okay, that's standard, right?
Yeah, but it took a long time to like realize, like, you need to like really set the expectation.
What made that light go off in your head?
Because I kept playing weddings outside. And we're in the middle of a fucking field somewhere, and it starts to drizzle rain a little bit. I'm like, cool, I'm out here with a cello and a laptop. This is not going to bode well. And
some problems that are going to arise here.
Yeah, or like I've heard a lot of stories that I've been fortunate to learn from other people's mistakes. I think was the other thing. And I've had some really good mentors saying, "Hey, get ahead of this."
Yeah.
You know, Chris Hawks being one of those people who was like, as I was starting to like get on the road a little more, from Don and Hawks, who's here in town.
Okay.
He was like, look, get everything in writing. Make sure you have this stuff in a writer if you have like a bigger stage. And just make sure the client knows what they're getting into, because if you need certain things like a level surface instead of grass or gravel, or you are going to be outside, make sure you have protection from the elements.
Yeah.
That's got to be standard fare.
That's so interesting that you point that out, because the average client, they don't know that.
No,
they don't have your experience. So you're the professional that's bringing them this education. And so, yeah, that totally makes sense. I would never thought about a level surface area for a cello player. Huh.
You can do without it, but you're not going to be that. It's a comfort thing, I think, more than anything.
Yeah. So in your music career, was the cello your first instrument that you picked up?
It was not. It was actually piano.
Piano. Okay. I'm finding more musicians have picked up the piano as opposed to like a guitar or something. That's how they started out.
Early. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what was it about the piano? Was it just in your house?
There was one in the house.
Okay.
So my dad, I don't give my dad enough credit for being a self-taught adult musician. That's the thing I think I talk to most adults about. They're always like, I wish I played whatever earlier. I wish I had the ability to pick this up.
Yeah.
My dad actually did that. And we never, Dad, if you're going to watch this someday.
He's going to watch it.
I hope
better watch it. You send him the link.
He'll check it out.
Okay, good.
But being somebody who's going to be like, I want to learn this. I'm going to sign up for a class, or I'm going to get a private lesson or something. So there was a guitar, there was a piano, there was a shelf, a record player. In my house. And basically, as my mom also was a huge music appreciater, it was really important to her to have her kids play music early. So she ponied up for piano lessons as soon as we could reach the keyboard. There's home videos of me and both of my sisters just banging on the keys as little kids. And I took piano for about 7 years.
What did your parents do growing up?
My mom
still do?
My mom was a stay-at-home artist. Stay-at-home mom who dabbled in everything. She did everything from costume design to baking cakes to she cut hair in her basement. She owned a hair salon for a while, and she now paints and does interior decorating and staging for houses for people moving.
Okay.
She helps people downsize. So she's kind of like a Jill of all trades. She does everything.
She knows how to declutter homes?
Yes.
Does she work with anybody?
She'll be here next week for you.
Okay. We have some... Well, I don't have decluttering to do. My roommate/wife has some decluttering.
The roommate wife.
My landlord, as I like to call her. She bought this house before we even started dating.
That's right.
And so the running joke is, she's my landlord, and I just pay her rent.
Nice.
What does Dad do?
He's a serial entrepreneur.
Okay, cool.
So he has, as long as I've known him, he's been a consultant and a journalist, and he's had a series of tech startups.
Okay. So you kind of have like, would you consider him like a business mentor?
Yes.
Okay. What did he say when you wanted to do your music career full time?
He was slow to come around, but he's now one of my biggest supporters. I think he's always supported, but there's a level of skepticism when you quit your very steady corporate job and we're like, hey, I'm going to go do my own thing. But I think the entrepreneurial spirit resonated with him. Yeah.
So when did you find yourself kind of really diving into music and really, playing the piano and wanting to learn more about it? How old would you say?
It was just kind of, I feel like it was a de facto thing that was around. I played just basically because it was there, and I had the opportunity to play cello in school, and I played trumpet in school also with the same, class music program. And I just kept having amazing opportunities just being in the suburbs of a very arts center like Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh's not known for being in the art center that it is.
No, I just know that Bane blew up the stadium over there from The Dark Knight.
We've recovered since then. It was crazy. They shut down all the streets when that was filming. And
really? You were there?
Oh yeah, I was in. I think I was in college when they were filming it.
Okay. So you're from that area, I would say. Okay. What brought you to Texas?
Tech.
Okay.
I graduated school. I went to grad school and undergrad both in Pittsburgh. And I ended up getting a job in tech sales with Oracle, and they paid for me to move here. And Oracle. I was with them hating every second of my life for, 4 years? And
yeah,
man, it was sales is not for everybody. And sometimes just because you enjoy talking to people and you love being a nerd and you love helping people figure problems out, you think on paper that's going to be a great fit. But they don't tell you about the hard deadlines and the dealing with tough personalities and fighting in the legal space. And there's a lot of really difficult highs and lows.
Okay. By chance, do you happen to know a Chris Espy off the top of your head? He was in sales at Oracle.
It sounds familiar.
Okay.
Was he here in Austin?
Yes, he's here. He's like right down the street from me. But he used to work for them. He doesn't work for them anymore. But what about a Ross DuPont?
I feel like I know that name also.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Because they also worked at Oracle.
That's a small world.
Okay. What didn't you like about, what specifically that you didn't like about that job?
People telling me what to do.
Okay.
And I knew like my first week on the job, I'm like, okay, you're up in my face about spreadsheets, the stupidest, like they call it like CRM maintenance, like update your Salesforce type shit. It was constant. And what was crazy about, I'm not going to go into the specifics, but the things.
Why? Because they're fans of yours now?
Some of them. I sure hope so. My old boss at Adobe actually, contributed to my Kickstarter.
Oh, awesome! That's cool.
Or my Indiegogo.
Dude, that's okay. That's great.
And being a music lover himself.
Yeah, I have some problems with Adobe, but anyways,
we can go there.
Okay.
A lot of people do.
They're just fucking expensive, man. They keep raising the cost. Like, I'm creative, brother. Just help me out here.
AI is expensive, man.
Yeah.
Every time we do a generative fill, it's
yeah, no shit. I remember the good old days when you could just buy Final Cut for $300 and that was it. You just had that editing program forever.
You can still do it.
Good old days.
I mean, if you still want to run, your classic no updates, no support kind of model, you can still do that.
Yeah.
But you won't have access to any of the new stuff.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Imagine having 1995, all your shit is cutting edge, right? And then you're stuck there forever. You can still run the same way you ever did.
The 90s were a good time, good music.
But you're going to...
Spin Doctor. Yeah, okay.
Spin Doctor. Yeah, that was...
Who else? Anyways, okay. So your boss from Adobe.
That was your first 90s.
Yeah, I was just trying to dive deep into the catalog of my favorite music from the 90s. Scrollin' Zippers.
Don't know them.
Oh, man. Okay, good swing band. Anyways, so you didn't like people telling you what to do. Now you're an entrepreneur yourself, and every client tells you what to do.
A funny way to look at it.
That's one of the first things I learned when I started my own thing. I was like, man, I'm not going to have a boss. Little did I know, every client is now my boss. But it's what I want to do, and there's mutual respect, and I can hire or fire any client that I want. So
that's the key. You are so much more in control. You say no to the jobs that you don't want to take. You're able to work most of the time when you want to, and you basically you write your own ticket. And just to have the empowerment of that's so fresh, and it feels so good. And until you don't have that, I don't think a lot of people realize how much higher your ceiling is.
Yeah.
Right.
That's very true. When did you start playing the cello?
3rd grade. 26 years ago exactly.
Wow. Well, that explains why you're so damn good at that instrument.
Thanks, man.
Really talented. And I just love the way you blend in the music of classical and into your, I don't want to call it poppy, but your pop good feeling music.
Thank you.
And it's a beautiful blend, and I appreciate it. And I loved your set at Meanwhile.
Thanks, man. I'm glad you were there.
Well, you hired me to be there.
Yeah, I'm glad you were there.
So what was it about the cello that you started playing at 3rd grade?
3rd grade. I was drawn to it.
Okay. A lot of kids wanted to play guitar and, the cool rock.
That came later.
Okay. Got it.
That was definitely part of the journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to drink a Oktoberfest.
Are you sober?
I am sober.
Okay.
I've been sober for almost 3 years now.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Are these NA?
That one is not.
Okay. Because I know you have
Athletic Oktoberfest.
Awesome. Okay. I know you have a song about some red wine that we'll get into later.
Sure do.
So, as you kind of progress as a celloist, What made you think you can bring this music to the pop scene?
It wasn't necessarily trying, at least, I don't think it's ever been like trying necessarily to be a pop artist or like, go into the pop space.
Yeah.
I think that was just kind of a default thing because that's what I listened to.
Right.
I've always listened to adult contemporary radio. My dad played a lot of the Eagles and like, Billy Joel and Bruce Springsteen. And that's like kind of the stuff I grew up on. Like I love piano pop Billy Joel because it's just like so uniquely him, but at the same time, it's accessible. And I just think cello is really underutilized. And basically, I set out to make the music that I listen to, playing the instrument that I play. And I think that's kind of the marriage of those worlds. Was like I wanted to be Jack Johnson when I first started playing guitar.
You want some banana pancakes in your life?
Exactly. I didn't like Jack Johnson at first, but then he was one of my biggest influences when I first started like making my own music.
Dude, I mean, all through high school, we were just constantly listening to that album. That's slipping my mind, but yeah, it was constantly on repeat in my car, and all my buddies loved him. I'm like, dude, this is the shit.
Yeah, probably like In Between Dreams or like the one with the mango tree in the front. Mm-hmm. Sleep Through the Static.
I have it in my closet that it needs to be decluttered. But so. What kind of training did you go out and see classical training to play this instrument, or were you just YouTubing videos
for cello?
Yeah.
That would have been wild. People that can get that kind of training on YouTube is nuts. No, so we had a school program.
Okay.
Throughout my high school.
That's so awesome.
It was an incredible opportunity.
Yeah.
And being in Pittsburgh also, we have access to all of the things at the college and university level. And then there's like the Pittsburgh CLO and the opera and the ballet, and the Pittsburgh Symphony is world renowned. All these people are right in our backyard.
How big was your graduating high school class?
460.
Okay.
It was like 2,000 people in our high school.
Jesus. It's reasonable. Okay, so that explains all the... I mean, I come from a small town, so our resources were limited. Yeah. We had football, basketball, baseball, and some UIL theater stuff and debate. But yeah, we never had what you had. But that's because we're in a small town. So.
But that's one of the things that I hope the internet is on the path to fixing, right?
Yeah.
And I became really passionate about giving those opportunities to people that don't have those resources, because recognizing after you leave your hometown, it puts into perspective what the rest of the world is like, right? And especially they called Mount Lebanon, where I grew up, the bubble, right? But we were kind of the family we were not the rich family in the rich community, right? So I think there was this level of we still really, really worked to make things happen. But then having the opportunity to have the rubber hit the road, right?
Yeah. So you're at your tech job. Mm-hmm. You're hating life.
Yep.
Did you have to actually go in the office?
Most of the time.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
I was working remote since 2019.
Okay, so before the pandemic hit and kind of... Okay. Was there a decisive moment that you realized, man, I can make a run at this musical career with my talents and leave this job?
There were flickerings.
Okay. Talk about the flickerings.
There were a couple times. I remember really distinctly leaving a gig. I was playing at a farm out in Bastrop, or like in that area. And... I was driving home. I'm covered in sweat, in dirt. We just played a 3-hour set.
Wow. Any breaks in that 3-hour set?
I typically try to build in 10 minutes on the hour.
Okay. All right.
Especially if I'm playing with other people. I'm harder on myself, but if I'm with other folks leading a band, I'm like, that's our minimum. And then I was like, man, I need to like go get groceries. And I go into the tip jar, and not only... It started with going to PetSmart to go pick up dog food. And I was like, wow, I'm literally putting puppy chow in the bowl with money that I made playing music.
That's a good feeling.
And then I went and picked up groceries for 3 days out of the same tip jar.
Okay.
In back-to-back trips. And I was like, this is amazing, literally paying to eat with art. Mm-hmm. And that was just, I'll never forget that.
Okay. So when you get here for your tech job, had you already kind of started networking with musicians, with bands, with communities in the music industry?
A little bit.
Okay.
So
what was your entry into that?
So I arrived in Austin. I knew 2 people. One was a friend from high school, somebody who I'd grown up with in the Jewish community. We played soccer together as kids. And so I knew him, and then one other friend from college. and that was it. And I'm sitting at the bar by myself, my first night in town, second night in town, whatever it was. And I'm just drinking a beer. I'm like, God, I gotta meet some people. And I take out my phone and I post on Craigslist. Cellist, new to town.
Craigslist. Wow, that's old school.
It is, man. But I'm like, when this is what, 2015?
Yeah.
Labor Day 2015.
Yeah.
A Sunday night, didn't know, anybody here. And I got an email response that night. I woke up to an email saying, hey, just saw your post. I'm playing a gig tomorrow night at Blackheart on Rainy Street, and you should come through. Do you remember Blackheart?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, that is now it's a fucking high rise now, but holy shit, yeah, I remember that.
That was maybe one of the best live music spots in town. I loved that bar.
It was, yeah. Did they had it like an outside stage too, right?
They did.
And
I think they still do.
Is it?
But like, it's DJs and corporate garbage. But last I was there for South by for a panel, and I was just having flashbacks to just being in that room my third night in town.
Okay, so you reached out through Craigslist. What else? Any other networking?
That was my first opportunity to play music.
Okay.
And then we played a set together the following Wednesday. So about a week into being in town, played a 3-hour set from 10 to 1 a.m. on a Wednesday at Speakeasy.
Okay, and had you guys rehearsed?
Nope.
Just
I think we got together once actually.
Okay.
But we just kind of showed up and played, and he's somebody who I officiated his wedding a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
So we've always been good buddies since then.
Yeah. And did that kind of spring to other meetings with musicians or other jobs? Okay.
The more you leave your house, and I'm sure you know the same thing, like magic happens when you leave your house.
It really does, man. The more and more that I go to See Boys and I just get inspired by whoever's playing there on whatever night. It's all right. It's a garage couch. Sorry. They're washable. No, it's fine.
My bad.
It's a garage. It's meant to be dirtied up and lived in,
but not on purpose.
Well, you didn't do it on purpose. Like, it was
also
an accident. True. Like, if I saw you pour it out on my couch, we'd have a different conversation now about you being house trained. As I go to these other venues, just not for work, but just to go see what's happening in the scene, I think like it's part of my responsibility now. If I do want to continue this career in creating or offering my services to musicians, then I need to be, have my ear to the grindstone is not the right word. Ear to the ground, right?
Ear to the ground.
All right. It's very early morning for me today.
Picking up what you're putting down. That's the right mentality.
Yeah, I think you need to be involved so that way you understand who you're working with, and also just show up and be present in the shows, because musicians like to see faces in the crowd. So,
especially ones they know.
Oh, absolutely. Man, I had a good lead and then I ruined it of where I was going to go next. We talked about flickerings. So you got the tip jar money. And then you started paying the kibble for your dog.
Yep. Putting puppy chow in the bowl.
Yeah. And then what was the decisive moment? Like, hey, forget this job. I'm going to go and do this thing. When did you put in your 2 weeks?
Halloween 3 years ago.
Halloween?
That was my last day.
Oh, that's, I don't know. Is that sad or good to quit on Halloween?
I didn't mind it. I love Halloween.
Was the office decorated at least in Oracle?
I didn't go in.
Oh, okay. You just quit.
Though the office was usually decorated at Oracle. I was at Adobe when I quit.
Adobe.
That was my most recent.
Got it.
Tech sales job.
Okay. And this was but you didn't leave mad from Adobe, right?
No, I think I left with there was a mutual understanding that this was not a good fit for my life.
Got it. So Oracle was a bad people. Adobe was a good people.
Oracle.
I'm putting words.
Oracle was a bad culture. Okay. I don't think it was bad people.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's for an organization that big. Like, how do you even keep a work culture? It's just like
the culture was built from competition and internal, fighting against each other, and that when you pit teammates against each other and you have competitive internal practices. That's going to foster not anything conducive to feeling like a good fit.
It seems very toxic.
Very toxic.
Yeah. I mean, because I have my own competition within myself, but it's like, hey, how much further can you push yourself? And I think that's reasonably healthy until it's not. But
for sure. But talk about feast or famine. Like, you're either crushing it or you're making your base, and that's it.
So you left Adobe, and did you already have jobs lined up? Did you have a business plan? Did you have any idea what you're going to do?
Yes and no. I've always been dreaming of kind of quitting tech, and once I paid off my student loans, that's when I was like, all right, I'm ready to make the jump.
Did you have a little nest egg saved up?
I did.
Okay. So, all right.
It was a very calculated, planned risk.
Yeah.
I had a business plan in place. I'd already had a good handful of dates on the calendar, but the more stressed that I got with work, the more I was like, how much more can I take this? And I remember being in Pittsburgh. I was there for work, seeing a client, and I was staying at my parents' house. Okay. And I was there for like 4 days, and I think I saw them for a total of 4 hours. But it was like 10:30 at night, and my parents are hanging out on their laptops. The three of us are sitting watching TV. Yeah. And I'm balls deep in email, and my mom's like, "What are you doing over there?" She's like, "Are you still working?" Because I was just out all day with clients, and then I get back and I'm trying to catch up on email because you lose those days. Like traveling when you're on the road, you have to catch up on everything after the fact. Yeah. And that was the realization that I was like, I'm not happy, and I need to figure out how to unfuck myself here. And yeah.
And so, like, as you kind of get started out becoming a entrepreneurial musician, do you remember one of the worst jobs you ever had?
In terms of music?
Performance, or whether it be a shitty booker or shitty promoter.
I got so many stories, dude. I'm going to do my best to not throw anybody under the bus.
You don't have to name them, but, you know.
Okay.
One of the worst stories I ever had when I first started out was I got hired via Facebook. Someone was reaching out to do video work at the Rotunda at the Capitol, and they're like, "We're going to do a yoga session." And right then and there, I should have been like, "All right, this is not going to be a valid client." They wanted to pay me $200. I'm like, "Sure, that's fine." Again, I just started out. I'll take any job, and if I can network through this, then that's even a bonus. I got there and I got there an hour early. I was the only one there. I was the hired help, and they had set nothing up. And so an hour goes by, and then finally I see like the head videographer. He rolls in with his kid, and my job was to babysit this kid. Now, mind you, I'm a stranger to this guy, never met him before, but yet he had the wherewithal to be like, "Hey, you're responsible. Please watch my kid." And I will never forget, this kid was playing with a fucking golf ball, and we're at the top of the Capitol, and he throws it down the long walkway towards the street, and he just starts hauling ass towards the street. I'm like, I guess I have to go chase this kid because I'm responsible for him. This golf ball is going to go into traffic, and I don't want to I don't want to see a kid get hit by a car.
Good God.
So like an hour goes by, still nothing set up. He's still bringing video gear, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to walk off this job. I appreciate your time. And I'll never forget what the lady said. She was like, "I hear you and I see you." And I just got so mad. I didn't say anything else. I just left. So that was the worst job I ever did. But your turn.
That's garbage, man.
It is, but you learn as you go.
You do. So I just heard this. So John Mayer's got his new Sirius XM radio show, right?
Oh, okay.
And it's not like super new. He's been on for probably a year or two now. But I keep catching snippets of his interviews on TikTok. And one of the things he said was like, "Look, I'm not. What do you say? You don't get paid to play. You get paid to figure things out."
Okay.
And once that mindset, like, I was like, that's so true, because you have to figure out all of the intangibles. Getting there, putting the thing on is kind of the last piece of it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of times people don't care about the quality of the thing itself. They want to know that you showed up and that you were able to solve their problem. And, if you're easy to work with and you can babysit if you need to, that goes the longest way.
I can add that to my resume. Hey, I'll babysit your kid as you figure out your camera gear.
Just put in a surcharge.
Yeah. So worst job you've taken?
There were just a lot of particular clients. You find that a lot in the wedding industry, but the vast majority of like the couples and the brides and planners I work with are incredible.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Really, really sweet people. The wedding I played last week in Kentucky, like they had me sit at the table and invited me to like stay for the evening.
Doesn't that feel awkward? I've had that before.
I loved it.
You like?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It can be, but you gotta also like feel it out, and it depends how comfortable the table is.
Did the bride and groom hire you, or did the wedding planner hire you? Or?
The mother of the bride surprised the bride.
Got it.
And they were just all lovely people.
Okay, good. All right.
And they ended up saying, when you typically, the law of attraction states that whenever you're a good person, you're going to attract good people. And the bride and groom were amazing people, and all of their friends and family likewise were very welcoming, very like, hey, come sit with us, and made it a great time. So I was like, yeah, I would love to stay. So, I was like, what else am I doing in Lexington, Kentucky tonight? So,
I was going to ask if you had bridezillas, but I see where this conversation is going. It's okay. We don't have to talk about
it. There are a couple, but I wouldn't say there's that many as much as just make sure you treat people nicely. Yeah. And I think about the tone, and there's a couple of I would say more well-known gatekeepers in the local music industry who are just known for being really difficult people to work with, because they don't treat their people well. They send snarky emails, and like have been known to even like show up to gigs and like criticize sets, not paying people the amount or on time or things of that nature. But you learn quickly who you're going to work with again. And people have reached out before after I've had a bad experience. I'm like, hey, I'm not available.
Yeah.
And you don't need to torch a bridge.
Right.
You can just say, thanks, no thanks.
Right. That's fair. That's a polite way of saying it.
Or you can just tell them to fuck off.
You can. Sometimes. You can. Yeah. Sometimes that feels so good.
It does.
I've never had that opportunity just yet, but I'm sure it'll come at some point.
If you pray for it, man.
If I really will it into my wheelhouse, yeah.
Don't put yourself in that position.
No. So what do you like about playing weddings?
It's really cool being part of somebody's special day, and for this to be the biggest party, sometimes the most memorable day of your life, and especially for a lot of young girls grow up like dreaming of their dress and the wedding day and the cake and perfect future groom, whatever that looks like. But this is something that a lot of people plan for their entire lives, and for you to be able to be that missing piece to fulfill their vision, I love that. And being able to arrange a song that I've never heard of before for a cello, it expands my repertoire. It has always just gotten me other gigs. I think there's a big part of just building and snowballing off of that. They pay great. And it's generally a good vibe as long as people aren't really stressed out. You get that once in a blue moon, but the vast majority is just a lovely experience.
And I feel like you have it to a point where you're kind of separated from the facilitating the day aspect. You have a point in time, you need to show up, you play. Whereas like me as a videographer, I'm working one-on-one with the bride and groom. I'm reading the room, I'm managing like my own expectations of how this shot is going to go. I'm also managing the photographer and what their temperament is. So you kind of, I would say you kind of have it easy. You show up, you play, and you have a good time.
You have it so much harder, especially as a videographer. To catch the moment.
Right. Yeah.
Because these are the things that like people are going to just remember forever.
I know.
Not to put more pressure on you.
I know. And I always like anytime a musician would show up to the wedding, I'm like, man, they have it pretty easy. Granted, they spend a lot of time and effort learning their craft and learning their music, but you guys play for extended period amount of time, and then you're not there sometimes you are at the sparkler send off. But
it's rare.
Yeah, I always appreciated when couples had live music at their venue, because it's like we are the live musical capital of the world. So I'm glad that they're hiring musicians here, and the wedding industry is very. It's good for the bank account.
It is.
Yeah. So how does it make you feel to be? Do you want to be considered a wedding musician?
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
Definitely. Fair. I don't like love playing weddings. I think my fulfillment comes from just the people saying that was amazing. You made our day so much better.
Yeah. And
that was exactly what I envisioned. I love that.
Do you think there will be a time when you can say no to weddings?
Yes.
Is that what your goal is now?
I would like this coming spring to be my last wedding season.
Very cool. All right.
Well, that's give up most Saturdays for weddings.
Yeah. That's another problem with that is like you're devoted to Saturdays, and most of my friends are out enjoying football games, hanging out with family, golfing. So it's very, very, it's very tough. It's not tough if if the money's right, to easily say yes to a wedding. But man, when I get the text, hey, you want to go golfing on Saturday? I'm like, I can't. I have a wedding to work.
Yeah.
Life sucks now.
That's the worst, man. But you can always reframe that, and just working the creative side of anything. We know that our weekends are our work days. So you can say, hey, tea times are way easier to get on a Wednesday. Let's go Wednesday. And then you're like, oh, I can't. I have work. I'm like, oh, that sucks. You're in a cubicle, man.
That's true. That's a great way to reframe it. But
that's why we're doing this on a Monday at 1 p.m.
It's 5 o'clock, remember?
That's right.
We're drinking.
5
I'm drinking beer.
Same. We were getting drunk late at night.
So what do you think it's going to take to go full-time and not do the weddings anymore?
Slow and steady.
Okay.
I've never tried to go viral. I've never tried to have a record deal that's going to propel you. Yeah. I want to own a slow burn. That's always been my idea, because mentally I think that's what I can handle. Yeah. First off. Second, like, I think you're ready for it whenever you're ready for it. And little by little, like, people come to see me in a show, and I'm seeing streaming numbers go up little by little. Subscriber counts go up little by little. Yeah. And at some point you're going to have these jumps, and sometimes you'll get on a festival bill, and then all of a sudden, a couple hundred people are at your next thing. But that's always been my mentality. And when that tips into, I think I can scrape by, like, that's when I'll be ready for it.
Okay.
But it's my obligation to give people something to be invested in. Yeah.
What is your favorite thing about playing your own show versus a wedding?
The intent of, like, we're here for art versus we're here for an event. They're just two different things. Yeah. But I love the going to throwing the party. I like throwing the party. I like being the host. I like having people I know there. I can
tell that.
Telling somebody to come, hey, come, what are you doing Saturday? Come over.
Yeah.
For my album release last year at Mohawk, my whole family came in. My mom baked 300 some cookies in a checked bag, and we're just giving them out at the merch table. And it's just like that kind of, like, community thing that you can only do when you throw the party. I love doing that.
I thought about this last night. Everything kind of sucks now in regards to products, right? You buy a cell phone, that cell phone's going to be outdated within a year. Even these couches, they could fall apart within 2 to 3 years because that's profitable for company. They make it shitty so that way you have to buy something again and again and again.
Planned obsolescence.
Yeah. Thanks to the guys who invented the light bulb, right? That's how it got started. I think that was one of the products.
Was it?
Yeah. That was one of the products that they were like, if we can make it really good to where these Americans can buy this light bulb and it'll last a long time, or we can make them pretty shitty and then we'll have a sustainable income coming in.
Damn you, Edison.
Yeah. But I feel like we're now coming to a point where we have to make the smaller I feel we have to make the smaller investments into smaller companies, because we know the quality of work that we're going to get is going to be great, because they need to provide quality products, quality services to sustain their business. I mean, I'm sure if I feel like, a desk is not made of quality and it's going to, like, be shitty within 3 years, then I feel like I'm going to make an investment next time when I need a new desk and something that's going to be handmade, even, because I know it's going to be made right. So all that to say is I feel like creatives like yourself, more and more people, you're going to build a better following. It might not be the most amazing numbers, but you're going to get quality listeners to your work, because we're constantly searching for quality stuff.
Totally. That's a great analogy. The other thing is, like, I'm not planning on making things that are going to fall apart, right?
Exactly. You're not making music to be shitty.
Yeah, but you do have to do it on the cheap sometime.
And that's, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because there's an authentic purpose for that. Like, you're doing it all yourself because everything is so expensive.
Totally. Man, so when you hear my next album, it's like you'll hear that. I'm doing it at home instead of the studio like I did for the last one.
Okay.
But yeah, there's something to be said for the numbers. Quantity will come, mm-hmm. but the quality is the thing.
Yeah.
And that's just thinking bigger picture. The macro, that's what matters to me.
Quality music is going to bring the quality listeners that you deserve, and I think you'll get everything out of it and what you put into it. So,
agreed. It's more fulfilling.
When you are writing songs with your cello, what are you drawing inspiration from? Personal experiences, observations of the world, what?
Yeah, I'd write vastly autobiographically. Most of what I write about are a reflection or some kind of extrapolation of trying to make sense of something. Sometimes it's like a vent kind of through the mask of a songwriting exercise. Once in a while, you'll have like a co-write and like you're like, all right, here's the prompt. So like this weekend, everybody was given little cards at the beginning of the weekend. They're like, here's your song prompt. Write a song for the end of the weekend or by the end of the weekend. So that's a great practice in really empathy, I think is the kind of the difficult part of that. I don't love writing songs for other people. And if something about it being my voice and my words, if somebody else wants to cut my song, awesome, I'm all for it. But when I sit down to write, it's usually a therapy exercise.
Yeah. Are you hired? Have you ever been hired for like studio recordings, studio sessions? Okay, so that's another point of income for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
That's most of my background is being session guy.
And I will. So when you do get hired for weddings, and a client requests a new song, you have to chart it out, right?
I usually play by ear.
Oh, okay. Damn. All right.
I'm a nerd.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I'll listen to the song, and also if you remember, for most ceremonies, the length of time it takes for a bride to walk from point A to point B is like maybe a minute. So that's enough for intro verse or intro chorus, like just a snippet of the main theme of whatever they want. So if it's a Casey Musgrave song or if it's some random classical song that you have no idea what it is, you basically have to just get the highlight reel of that.
Got it. Okay. I was going to ask, with all that charting, does that help in the recording process when you are working with other musicians because you're writing it down, or you were charting? You're not charting it, but you're listening by ear.
For sure.
Okay.
I use charts all the time. So I rarely gig or go to the studio without my iPad.
Okay.
Most of the time, if I have the opportunity to, I'll want to listen to the song a lot. And I'll also sometimes sit down and like think about songs. But when you go to the studio, the other thing I ask for is a reference. So if somebody says, hey, I really want cello in the song, I'm like, cool, what do you want it to sound like? Give me a song example, and I can try to play off of that to write a part.
I'll never forget when you started playing Tuesday's Gone right here, because I was watching Happy Gilmore. That was so cool.
What a great song.
Have you played that song before live? No, you just thought of it right there. All right.
Pop folk music is kind of predictable. Okay. Rock, whatever. It's all teachable.
Sure.
But I'm having to teach myself. So I don't think it's a dark art is what I'm saying.
What is harder to do, play classical music or write your own pop songs?
Being exceptionally proficient at classical music is more difficult.
Okay.
Being able to write your own songs, it takes a degree of letting your hair down, and you have to really just not be critical about yourself. And as soon as you're okay with being vulnerable, that opens up the door. But getting to that point can be tough also.
Yeah.
So starting on classical, I think, is easier, but it's harder to get really good at it. And I think the opposite is true of writing, where it's really hard to start, but then once you get into it, it becomes easier.
Got it. What is your favorite hamburger?
P. Terry's double.
Why?
It's fresh. It's local. It's just I think P. Terry's, the service fucking sucks historically across every location, any time of day. Service is terrible.
I'll agree with that.
The product it's the best fast food burger out there.
Why not In-N-Out? Or what are your thoughts on In-N-Out? What? Okay.
It's P. Terry's, but not as good. All right, I take that
back.
Customer
service at In-N-Out is across all boards phenomenal.
Way better.
Every location you go to, you're getting top-notch customer service.
I agree with that.
And that's part of the reason why In-N-Out is my favorite burger chain, just because I know even if they miss on the burger, at least I'll get a warm smile, and they'll treat me like a good customer. Which, by the way, the security guy or the secretary guy at this shoot this morning, whatever happened to fucking smiling to people? Like, hey, how's it going? What's up, man? Glad you're here. What can I do for you? How can I help you? Like, whatever happened to that type of customer service?
Maybe they're just having a bad day.
I know. You're right. I think about that all the time. But this time it just pissed me off because it was my job, and I'm like, dude, come on, help me out here.
They should know better.
They should know better. Everyone should know better. I get it, and you're absolutely right because there's this one of my buddies, Spence. He's a server at Barton Country Club, and we went on a golf trip, and we had a server at the end of the night who just was so exhausted of us, just like tired of us the moment we walked in. And I was sitting next to Spence, and he's like, what's with this girl's attitude? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me. You're in the service industry. Yeah. Did we say something? And I know the group of guys that we're hanging out with, they would have never said anything wrong to like piss her off, but it was right from the jump. And he goes, yeah, man, you should never feel like this as a customer.
Totally.
And I'm like, dude, this is why you're good at what you do. This is why you're good at a bartender, because you recognize that. Mm-hmm. And so anytime I have like a server who is somewhat annoyed by us, I always text my buddy Spence. I'm like, dude, we got another one. What do you think happened to him? And he's like, he's like, I don't know. He's probably had a shitty customer before you guys rolled in. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But I don't know. Just like give me a smile when I walk in the door or something.
That's the bare minimum you can do.
It's a bare minimum, right?
That's table stakes. And like you as a customer can always be like, that's coming out of your tip.
Yes, but I always feel like I'm going to tip 20% regardless, just so that hopefully it makes them feel bad about themselves.
Just because you're in the service industry and because you understand what it's like to be on the flip side of that coin.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I come from the place of you get 20% unless you like really.
Yeah.
If you did
shit
something,
the bed, yeah.
if you leave us like waiting for a drink order for 10 minutes at this table by ourselves, like. I understand things get busy, but like you gotta like check in. You have to say, "Hey, I'll be right with you."
Yeah. No one's forcing you to be there. Like you can just go do something else, and I hope you do. Like if this job is bothering you that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Spence, my buddy, said you don't deserve to be treated like that, I go, dude, you're absolutely right, and that resonated with me. Whenever I try to go work with clients, I'm like, treat them as best as you possibly can.
Totally. You're in the people business.
Yeah.
Always.
So, speaking of bartenders. Let's talk about your latest single.
Okay. You want to talk about it?
Yeah. It's about sobriety, correct? From
we're talking Damn Red Wine.
Yes, yeah. Damn Red Wine.
Yeah, it was, I would never, I don't think I will ever go so far as to say I had a drinking problem, but I love getting fucked up.
Yeah, sure.
There's always a reason to celebrate or to take a load off or to get together with people.
Yep, on a Wednesday night with the boys, you have one beer and then it turns into 9, and before you know it, you're hungover the next day. And yeah, it's great. It's all part of having fun.
Totally, man. I love it. And, a lot of that is very socially driven also.
Yep.
I was drinking an awful lot, especially toward the end of my tech
You're
career.
in sales. You're going to conferences. You have to,
always.
Yeah.
There was never a time where we weren't drinking.
Right.
Even like at the office sometime, like people would show up with like tequila like on a Friday morning and be like, all right, who's got the orange juice? And
that is also something interesting from startups that I worked with, is that like they had kegs there. I'm like, how is this productive to any company when you can just get so fucking hammered at the end of the day?
It's part of the culture.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a dependence on trying to not hate your life as much. And I think a lot of people, they're overworking themselves, and therefore that becomes the thing. And also that's like a default easy go-to team building activity or happy hour, or like you're out with a client, like let's go get a nice bottle of wine as a gift. There's so many opportunities for it. But all that to say, that was my life for years and years. And it started with binge drinking and fraternity culture.
Yep.
Right. And I think it was just something I wanted to like kind of grow out of. And I was what were you going to say?
You wanted to grow out of it.
I wanted to be the next better version of myself.
What made you realize that?
Because I was spending every day hungover. 85% of my days I was just hungover. And I would say like 6 days out of the week I was having a beverage. And I was really hungover all the time. And Damn Red Wine came from, I'm like, what did I do last night? I can't believe I said this or that to so-and-so, or I can't believe I drove home, or I can't believe I feel like this today. I can't even get out of bed. There were so many days where I was not my best self. And Damn Red Wine just kind of came on the back of that, where I was doing a lot of my writing hungover. And I was like, when is this going to change?
Yeah.
And there was a playfulness to it. It was like, that Damn Red Wine again, and it really got me going this time. or you just have so many people to apologize to, and I was sick of that.
And so, how long have you been sober for?
Coming up on 3 years.
Wow, good for you, man.
Thanks, man.
I created this contract with my wife in that she didn't like the way that I was over consuming every time I would go out and binge drinking. Let's say that. Let's call it what it is. And so I'm like, all right. And I also blamed my weight gain on the food I was consuming. After I was consuming the alcohol, I would like go get Taco Bell, I would go get Jack in the Box. And she's like, well, maybe if you didn't get drunk so much, you would like lose weight. I'm like, it's not a problem, but all right. It's got linked. Me there. Checkmate. So I'll just do the bare minimum of 2 drinks every time I go out. That cut down my drinking pretty significantly. Mm-hmm. But you, my wife, you cannot bring any chips into this house. You can't bring any sweets into this house because I'll get drunk and then I'll go through the cupboard and I'll munch all the chips. So
is that her thing?
Does she? She loves chips. She loves chips.
So you're like, snacks. If I'm giving this up, then you have to do this.
Yeah. And so it worked pretty good. It helped out the bank account. I was still able to, go out and social because I like the taste of beer. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. It's not a problem yet where I'm like, I need to go to AA, and I don't think I'll ever get to that point, but I like the taste of beer. It's good. And it's fun to hang out with my friends. And so, the 2 drink minimum was really beneficial. And, she kept to her, or
2 drink maximum.
Yeah. 2 drink. I'm sorry. So 2 drink.
You have to have at least 2 drinks a dinner.
Yes. Yeah. 2 drink maximum. And, so she kept to her, side of the contract, although she did sneak some stuff in. And I told her, if you're going to bring stuff in, if you're going to sneak it in, hide it from me. I don't care where you hide it. Just hide it somewhere so I don't fucking eat your bag of chips.
Put it in the safe.
It worked out. Yeah. And so that kind of, because to your point, going out with the boys, 3 times a week and being hungover the next day, it's not conducive to running a business. It's not healthy. So
no, man, it's a lifestyle creep.
Yeah, for sure.
But when it happens so many days in a row, you're like, oh my God, that's when you see you put the weight on over the course of time.
Yep.
Getting drunk and doing it once a week,
it's not a big deal.
No, but when it's happening 3, 4, 5, 8 times a week.
I mean, I just like to have a good time. You don't gotta fucking shame me.
Who doesn't?
It's all right.
Sorry, man. But especially when you're golfing, you're gonna go out with a cooler.
Oh my God. No, actually, I try not to. But we have this game where if you get a birdie, you get to hand out a shotgun to the other person. And there was a round.
So you're a good golfer.
Yeah, I try to be. I
haven't seen a birdie in years, man.
I know. And I've been so busy lately that I haven't really been able to play. But we play that game, and then somehow everyone becomes a good golfer, and we're just handing out shotguns left and right, and it's a fun time.
It's a great time. That's what golf's meant to do.
Yeah. So was that kind of was it therapeutic when you created that song? It was like, hey, this is something that I'm doing, and
it started off as a joke because I was laying on the sofa just like this, oh, woe is me, I can't believe I put myself in that kind of position again, and I was like, that damn red wine, I can't believe it did that, and then just kind of your foot starts tapping.
Was it Cabernet? Was it Merlot?
Who knows?
Okay, just any type of red wine.
It was a lot of different red wines for sure.
All right,
for sure. But it was waking up to a text message from a girl who got really upset, and it was that kind of morning where I'm like, I can't believe you did that. And then you just pop out 4 chords, and then all of a sudden that becomes the song. I think I wrote it in 10 minutes.
So are you Jewish?
I am Jewish.
So I was raised Catholic, and there was this thing called Catholic guilt. That are you
very familiar? So my mom was raised Catholic. Also.
Okay, all right.
She converted to Judaism.
Okay. So did that Catholic guilt follow her?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's dude, talk about being the mishmash. We got the Italian Catholic side with the Jewish. Guilt runs deep in the blood.
Right. You just wake up and feel bad for something that you don't even know you did.
For sure. But that's such a good analogy. As they say, Catholics make the best Jews. So there's a lot of guilt going on.
Yeah. So speaking from that, does that help with the Jewish guilt? That song itself? Sort of.
I don't think there was any point in my life where anybody intentionally made me feel bad about things, but there was a remorse kind of just built into the situation of if you do something bad and you have any kind of moral compass, you're gonna feel bad about it,
right?
And you're gonna want to issue an apology to whatever extent. And that was just happening a lot.
But I come across people who never know this sense of guilt, and I'm like, how do you live your life like this? How do you go day to day without feeling guilty all the time? And they're just like, I don't know. And they're good people too. They're not doing anything shitty, but they just never feel guilty about anything. I'm like, how? Show me your ways.
I had this conversation with somebody this week, actually. They noticed that the common thread was people that grew up without religion at all in the household. And I was just like, that's so wild that like something that's intended to be a structure and something to give you a framework for your life ends up being the thing that you feel like you're coming up short on.
Yeah.
And that's where the guilt comes from. And they're like, so wait a minute, you just go about your life and you don't feel bad about things and you just feel empowered and like confident just as a way of life.
Yeah. That was pretty much the guideline for our family. My dad is still super Catholic, and he kind of used that as a guide for raising us. And for better or worse, it worked. You know, I have the childhood trauma that I need to deal with, but for the most part, I turned out okay.
I think so too.
Yeah, thanks. And it made me thought of like, if we do have a kid, do I need to fall back on the Catholic religion to help scare my child into being a good individual, or can we somehow educate in a different way? What are your thoughts on that if you do have a kid?
My imaginary kids someday,
yeah.
I would love them to be part of the Jewish community, and not necessarily as like a way of like you have to do XYZ, because there's such a performative element to reciting Hebrew that you don't know what it means, and parts of the service you're like, why do we do this? But asking why is a fundamental part of Jewish culture. It's like we want to know answers. We want to challenge each other. We want to ask why, right?
My buddy Zach, who's also Jewish, he's always asking me why, and I'm like, dude, stop it already. I don't know why, it just is.
You tell me.
Yeah.
Like, but that's what, like, well, why do you think? Yeah. And that's the way that like Jewish children are taught to think about the world. And there's something to be said about the Jewish community, which is just so
awesome.
What's
That's
that?
Great. I love that. Asking you why, or teaching your kids to ask why. That's so fascinating.
Yeah.
As opposed to me or being told by my father because I said so, you know?
But there's part of that also.
Right. Yeah.
It's situational, right? It's like when the adults like want to control you, you're like, because I said so. Study your bar mitzvah portion. Why? Because I said so. I still love being part of the Jewish community. Last night we were actually in a rehearsal for the high holidays. This week is Kol Nidre and Yom Kippur.
Okay.
Which is the high holy days of the Jewish calendar.
Yeah.
But to be able to walk into any synagogue and just immediately be welcomed and feel like this is an extended part of your family, and you have a commonality, there's a common culture here. I've just always felt very at home and very safe and very invited.
Right.
And I think I really enjoy that about Judaism also, in that we invite people to come be part of it.
Sure.
To come. There's no recruitment. There's no like.
It's not like Scientology where you have to hold on to the rods.
Yeah. There's none of that. There's no going door to door.
Okay.
Right. Not to knock any other religion that does that, but like Judaism doesn't recruit. It's like you're always invited to come for dinner. Our rule at the house growing up was, my mom said, hey, every Friday night, the family has to be at dinner for Shabbos every Friday night. You can go do whatever you want after that, but you have to be there, and you're allowed to invite your friends over.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
Usually we would have as many as like 15, 20 people sometime at our house. My mom would just cook for everybody. And we got to give some heads up so she can plan for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, that's not cheap.
Yeah, but it's important as a staple of that. And I think living on my own, that's something I've really gotten away from, is like hosting people, and especially gigging Friday nights. That's the other thing. But I do enjoy the communal aspect of Judaism to bring it full circle.
No, sure, yeah. That's awesome. How long were your services?
Usually like officially 9 to 12:30 ish.
2.5 hours.
But people would, first off, it starts late because it's Jewish Standard Time.
Okay.
So you'd always start like 9:15, 9:30 sometime. People kind of like wander in.
Man.
But then we would like, it's not anything like Catholic Mass. That's the other thing.
Okay.
Catholic Mass, you can hear a pin drop in that room.
Dude,
you're there on time. You leave afterward. And then that's the thing. In a lot of Jewish services, people show up super late. We would get there about like 10:30, 11 sometime.
Okay.
And then you basically like stay till the end, but it's a big social thing.
Okay.
People just talk the whole time. People are on their phones. It's kind of not like super,
right.
Something you're supposed to do.
That sounds more fun than, I mean, there was so much cardio in the Catholic Mass. Up, down, shaking hands.
Yeah.
You got to go get the body of Christ. It was a lot of work.
Yeah, but like you're like there for the service.
Yeah.
And in Judaism, especially like my home synagogue, they're just like, yeah, you're here. We're glad you're here.
Okay.
You're part of the community.
Cool.
Some people don't say a word of the service, don't participate at all, and they stand there and they talk, and that's it. But that's part of the culture.
What's the next thing for you, musically?
Musically, I'm glad you asked. I'm working on my second album right now. I put out my first album a year ago.
Yeah.
And then I did an acoustic version of that album, which I recorded all of the same songs, but acoustic versions. And right now I'm working on that catalog of 100-some songs that I just have sitting around that I'm working on putting out in the world.
Good. Where are you in the process of recording this? How, if you had to
Early.
put a percentage to it, are you 10% done? Are you 20? Are you
15?
Okay. All right.
Which is tough, but man, when I'm learning all of the engineering side of myself, which has been amazing. I'm such a nerd. God, dude, I love doing it. But I've got most of the songs kind of at least like sketched out. I know what songs I want to do. Some of them are not even fully finished yet.
How many songs are you looking to put on the album? 15. Okay. It's kind of a lot.
It is, but they're all like shorter songs.
It's like 311 Transistors album. There's so many songs on that album.
Is it long?
It's very long. Yeah.
Like length of time long.
Yes. Yeah. That and just I think there's like 20 songs on it. I could be wrong, but that's quite of a undertaking for you.
It is.
Songs? Doing it yourself, recording it.
It's part of the story.
Learning the process of recording. Shit.
It's been a lifetime.
When you're doing that, are you concerned about the way it's going to sound on different devices?
No, because I really trust the guys that I'm working with to polish it off.
Okay. Are they going to be mastering it?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. I decided recently also I'm outsourcing mixing as well because I want that more polish.
Okay.
I think I'm close on getting there myself, but it's not quite where I want it to be.
What are you looking for this album to sound like? It can be a reference to a band, a song, or just an idea of like, hey, I want it to sound like The Color Purple.
Great question. When I've been describing it, I think like it's been in terms of feel, it's kind of like Gambino meets the Beatles. So something like kind of
I love that
poppy, but like still really veering off the path.
Okay.
So a little bit experimental, but also it's a play on the album's called Play, but it's a take on Mac Miller's Kids.
Okay. I'm not so familiar with. I mean, there's a few songs that I love from Mac Miller. They're escaping me again, but no, that's awesome. Okay.
Thanks. So they're all shorter songs.
Wait, he's from Pittsburgh.
He's from Pittsburgh.
All right. Okay.
We had a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's always been somebody that like I've admired from afar, but like while we were growing up, I'm like, what? I don't get it. What's the draw?
Yeah, I came to him super late, so
yeah. It wasn't until later on that I was well into living in Austin when I was like an avid listener because I didn't love his earlier stuff, and I think once I got into the swimming and the divine like the stuff with Ariana Grande, like Anderson .Paak, like some of his like collaborations are just incredible. And there's such a uniqueness in that every song is a different footprint. You go from like, kind of like more traditional R&B into a boom bap kind of beat, and every song is just vastly different from one another, but it's still very uniquely his voice. And I really admire that as a collective record because you go from one song into the next, and they're all just it's a journey, it's progression, and there's still that commonality.
How do you process death?
How so?
So I think about it a lot every time pretty much every night I think about it. I think about my own mortality. I think about my father's mortality. And Mac Miller's death, it doesn't resonate with me because I still listen to his music. it doesn't seem like he's gone because we're so, I mean, I was not his friend, but you being close to him, like, I just want to bring up the concept of death, and I want to talk to about it, people, because it's coming for all of us, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it.
None of us gets out of this alive.
Yeah.
My very Catholic Italian grandmother reminded me that last week when I saw her in Pittsburgh. And you just have to make the most of your time. I think it's something that, like, the inevitability of it hasn't really hit me. Some points, like, there's just this existential dread of, like, why. Mm-hmm. But I want to put myself in a position that I'm invested in my health and longevity, so that I know that I'm planning on a long death. Yeah. I used to plan on, like, not being around long.
Really?
Because of depression and drug use and alcohol and all that.
Okay.
I was like, I'm going out early.
Dude, ever since I was like 5 years old, I was planning on living to 100. Like, I want to
be there to
the I want to be there to the bitter end, you know. I want to see the world come crashing down before my lights go out, you know?
Yeah. And you might do it.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
The way things are going. No, I'm kidding. Just it's a concept that I don't think us as Americans or in my friend group, we don't talk about very much. But yet it's like one of the most crippling things that can happen to an individual, you know, losing a close one. I am very fortunate that I've never lost anyone close to me. You know, my grandma and grandparents, they're all so much older that I never really made that connection. Mm-hmm. They also spoke they also spoke Spanish, so there was really, you know, not a lot of communicating there.
Do you speak Spanish fluently?
No, not. I could barely, you know, form a sentence. But you put me in Mexico for 2 weeks, I'll be able to carry on a conversation. But right now, no. Mm. So, have you lost someone close to you?
I wouldn't say like super close. Like, you know, everyone loses grandparents.
Yeah.
I've lost friends, but I wouldn't say like I haven't lost any of my like best friends.
Right. And I'm in the same boat, but yeah, it's just always, I don't know, it's always on my mind, and I think we should talk about it more.
I agree. Yeah, man, there were a couple, like, some guys I grew up with, you know, in the neighborhood who I think I lost 3 of my friends to ODing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm lucky that I stopped where I did in terms of my recreational use. But not everybody was able to walk away. And one of my friends went so far as to predict his own death. Oh. And he was keeping like really detailed journals and basically using himself as a guinea pig to be like, this is what I experienced. But it was something that we all knew was coming with all those people. But when you become aware of it, I think also being really close to somebody, their absence is the thing that you miss. It's what would Mac Miller have said about you know, the Israel-Palestine conflict right now, because he is an American Jew, and you just can't help but wonder, like, how would today be different with their input?
Right. As a storyteller, I guess you could call myself that, and trying to create authentic stories, like, I always think about, like, what is Ramon Mejia's death going to look like? So I know that we're kind of taking a weird turn in the podcast, but no, I'll lay in bed just thinking, okay, tomorrow I'm going to wake up, and then I probably won't know it, and that's what death will be like if I go out, you know, silently, if, you know, I don't feel any pain. And it's weird. It's a weird feeling to think about. And then I get very sad. And I think about, like, all the people that are hopefully going to miss me. But then I wake up the next morning and I feel, oh, man, I'm alive. Mm-hmm. And then that kind of carries me on throughout the day, and then it repeats itself. So it gives me a thing to look forward to in a way. But another thing that I'm having trouble with is understanding the concept of how to slow down time. It is going by way too fast, and that's eluding me to, like, oh my God, what is it going to be like when I die? Because it's coming around the corner. I'm only 37. Pretty soon I'll blink and I'm 95 years old. But yeah, how do you slow down time?
That's real shit, man. I'm going to be 35 on Sunday, so it's kind of the same thing. It was like, all right, so I'm like pretty squarely into what for a lot of people is midlife.
Yeah.
But I, you know, mentally, I still feel like I'm in my 20s. I still feel very youthful,
right?
Physically, like, I feel amazing. So something tells me that, like, the later years are going to be better, but the more you can, like, really limit your information, you feel like you slow things down. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb more. Don't go into like crowded situations where you know you're going to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And the more you can stay off social media, like I think it trains your mind to just be where your feet are.
Right. Okay.
So that's one way that I approach slowing things down. Here's another part of like death is like your legacy. Mm-hmm. So what philosopher was it? Was it Descartes that said you have two lives or two senses of self? One is your life, and then one is your like legacy or your afterlife, right? So basically when you're obsessing about creating a lasting momentum or memento, I should say, mm-hmm. of something that's going to outlive you, your legacy. If you want a plaque or a statue or like, a photo, whatever it is, to be the representation of your existence, you spend your life doing that so that you will be remembered.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you might miss out on other things because you're so focused on creating the thing that you want to outlive you.
That is very true. Yeah. I do want my company, in a sense, like when I create stuff, I'm hoping that it will live on far past me. Mm-hmm. I think that's the beautiful thing about being an artist is that you can create these pieces of work that will live forever. Mm-hmm. And this podcast will live forever.
Someone's going to find this on a hard drive somewhere.
No, it's going to be on YouTube, man. Like everyone's going to watch it. Like we'll get millions of views.
Crazy. Isn't that hard to think about? Hello, future people. People of planet Earth. 2346.
Oh man, we were. I was in Florida last week, and we were playing video games at a brewery, and I was playing the Terminator game with like the Uzi machine gun, and the opening screen started with, "In the year of 2029, the machines have taken over." I go, "Oh my God, that's like in 4 years," and they're not that far off.
We could build our bunkers.
So how are you dealing with everything that is happening in the world right now? It feels like death is constantly on our screens 24/7. I know you're saying just shut it off, but how are you processing all of this?
Mostly well.
Okay, good.
Not in the sense that I don't care, because I care deeply.
Yes.
But you're familiar with the Serenity Prayer.
Help me, God, for what the things I can control. Mm-hmm. Something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's
understand the things you can control. You don't worry about the things you can't control, mm-hmm. and the wisdom to know the difference. Mm-hmm. So basically, you have to focus on your locus of control and understand that you can't control national policy. You can't control interpersonal relationships. You can't control anti-Semitism. You can't control somebody else's thoughts or feelings about guns or whatever that is. And the only thing you can do is try to be the change that you want to see in the world. And that's where I've never let my focus off of that, is being in control and trying to make the world better and more tolerable and more of a welcome place for everybody.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great way to look at it. It's just so weird to see. Weird's probably not the right word, but it's so upsetting to see all the death right on our phones, from the assassination to otherworldly terrible events. I can't understand how we got to a place like this, and we're in 2025 and we're still, I don't know, it's still tragic things are happening for old reasons,
For sure. There are not enough people like you who are sitting down asking questions.
Yeah.
You want to get to know somebody, and whether or not this is for mass media consumption or not, you're sitting down saying, "Hey, tell me about this. Let's connect. Let's find the commonalities." Yeah. And it's so like easy to be in a room, like I'm in rural Kentucky, sitting at a table with like hardcore right Republicans, which is so not my scene, right?
Know, right? Yeah.
And realizing that these are just really nice people who we just happen to disagree on a couple of things,
right?
And when you can find and you look for the commonalities, that goes such a long way. And I think that's the first step to bridging the gaps into healing as a society. It's got to start with people in between, personally.
That's the whole point of these conversations, is so that it can be a longer format for, conversation of discussion of, difference of opinions, but still have the same place of respect amongst each other. And that's what, man, Facebook is. When the assassination happened, it was just a complete onslaught of people voicing their opinions. And for the life of me, I was like, why are you doing this on a billionaire's platform where they're collecting all this information? This is just, it might be a place for you to vent, but I don't understand why you feel so strongly about one side versus the other. And it's just, I don't understand why people can't see that voicing it out loud on this public platform is not really, it's not unifying anything.
It's not, but people want to feel heard.
Yeah.
And that is the available platform. If everybody got 5 minutes in the middle of a town square, everybody would take their ticket and get in line and go shout from the rooftops about what they want, because they need some validation. And going back to the existence thing, everybody wants to have their existence validated. Mm-hmm. Like, this is proof that we're here. These are the things that I feel, and they're like, yes, I agree with that. Or sometimes when people don't agree with that, it's still validating the opinion, right? But that's the platform that we've been given, is, hey, here's a very public online forum.
Yeah. After that assassination took place, I was telling my buddy of how much it affected me, like seeing it seeing it on my screen, seeing it unfold, seeing it happen, seeing everything that unfolded because of it. I asked him, I felt so terrible for feeling that way when there's been other mass shootings at schools. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel an ounce of anything when I hear that, because I don't know why. And he pointed out it's because you're not seeing the dead kids on the screen. You're not seeing it unfold right before your eyes. And that guy who, was assassinated, you saw it right then and there, and it made you feel a certain way. Mm-hmm. And it just, man, it made me feel bad for both reasons. Like, I don't feel bad for mass shootings, but here I am feeling terrible that this guy got, assassinated right on my cell phone screen.
There's a lot of similarities there, but like I totally agree with that. And one, you're not watching the security footage, right? You're not seeing the act happen.
Yeah.
Second, it wasn't in a public thing where other people were reacting to it. Right. You're not watching other people react.
Yeah.
And I think the third part of this is a very prominent public figure. Mm-hmm. That was shot, somebody who you were aware of. Yeah. You knew the personality. You probably knew a little bit of them. You knew what they stood for. Yeah. And having a spirit associated with whoever the victim was, right, you feel more connected to it.
Yeah.
So those are three major things. There was a church yesterday that was 10 people got killed, right?
Jeez. No, I had no idea.
If I'm remembering the headline correctly, okay. But you're also training the algorithm on the internet. If you click on that article, they're going to give you more of that.
Right. Yeah.
So I saw the headline and I chose not to click into it.
Good for you. That's another thing. Do you think our technology is hurting us or helping us?
Helping.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
For sure. Because there's never been more opportunity to have opportunity.
Okay.
It's a democratization of information and of tools and availability of resources.
Yeah.
And whether or not you choose to give certain data to people. My dad has been in tech forever. He won't get Facebook because he doesn't trust Zuckerberg or policies.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just don't want them to have that level of information on my profile. Mm-hmm. He's all over LinkedIn. Right. Oh my God, is he on LinkedIn?
Okay.
But he treats LinkedIn like Facebook. He's one of those people.
Okay. Good for him.
He's tagging me in posts every day and yeah.
So how do you balance your utilization of online platforms with everyday life and using it as a tool to help your career?
Discipline, knowledge is power. Knowing that helping your career, I have to be online. If I was not an artist or trying to make my living doing this, I wouldn't be online at all.
Yeah.
I'm generally a pretty private person. I really enjoy interpersonal one-on-one things, and you can ask me anything on this couch and I'm like, cool, let's talk about it. But I don't necessarily feel the need to broadcast.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to work-life balance, I do a lot of scheduling posts. I do a lot of, I set my timer on Instagram for 15 minutes a day. And when that's up, I'm off. I try not to doom scroll unless I'm in a really bad place. Sometimes you get to the end of your newsfeed and you're like, I can't believe I got here.
Just like 2 hours later, oh my God, what did I do with my life?
Yeah. But you have to also think of, in making life slow down, you got to get off your phone. And sometimes I'll take the dog out and just leave my phone at home.
Good.
My phone's on do not disturb most of the time. So like whenever I'm super slow to get back to you, a lot of times because I didn't even know you texted me. And I stopped wearing my Apple Watch.
All right.
Because I don't want the notifications.
Yeah.
There are some people who can get through my D&D wall, whether that's a booker that I work with or a girlfriend or a parent. You're able to set your limits.
Do you have to like tell those people, hey, do you have to preemptively tell them I'm not going to be on my phone for this amount of time? So if you need me, like what's the protocol there?
Sometimes I do.
Okay.
Especially if it's somebody who is close to me, who is going to expect a response. Like usually like a couple dates in, I'll say to a girl, hey, just so you know, I'm not ignoring you.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, I didn't see this until whenever. But you have to set the expectation.
Okay.
But then the other thing I hated about tech life was you're on Slack, you're on email, your phone is blowing up.
Yeah.
Every day I would have 100 to 200 emails in my inbox. And you have to shut it down sometime and say, I'm going to respond to my emails twice a day. Okay. Kind of take the Tim Ferriss approach.
If you could look back at your Dan in third grade,
Great Dan. My favorite Dan.
What would you tell him after all your experience up until this point? What advice would you give him?
Walk confidently. There were a lot of times post third grade that I've questioned myself, questioned the people I hang out with, questioned following my interests. Mm-hmm. But just being able to have the confidence to say, I want to do this thing. I didn't do musical theater until my senior year of high school because I was concerned about being outcast socially, or because I had other things that were pulling me away from that. But once I started to like follow my interests, life just gets more fulfilling. It's easier. It's more fun, and you meet people that you're more in tune with. So I think that took me a long time to get to that point. And now the older I get, the more I really lean into that. And I love who I've become as an adult.
Good. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Most people can't really say that. I'm still working on myself to say that I've...
Everybody can find that.
Right.
And it's not an overnight thing, but you have to, again, 1% better every day. You're going towards who you want to be. It's incremental.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Thanks. I hope I get there. That was the most important question that I wanted to ask that I had stored in my brain. So I'm glad we got through that. Everything
It's a great question.
We talked about death. We talked about the world problems, really uplifting stuff.
Things I was not expecting. Let's talk about death. What happens when you die?
What does happen when you die? What do you think happens when you die?
Dude, so my therapist once asked me that as like an intro, but that apparently is a very common therapy question because it kind of shows how you see the world. What happens to you when you die? And that goes down the rabbit hole of the meaning of life and kind of understanding your values. So that's a cool exercise to go through someday when you're laying in bed contemplating existence.
What happens? I hope what happens when I die, I hope one of two things happens. I hope I get reincarnated into someone else, something else. That would be nice. Or I hope there is a heaven and I get to see all of the people who I don't get to see anymore, And right now, I pretty much get to see everybody, including my family members. So when one of them passes, I hope when I die, I get to see them again in an afterlife. So those are the two things that I'm really hoping for. And if, nothing happens after you die, then that's fine too.
Well, nihilism there.
Yeah.
What if all are true? You get reincarnated in a different form and you're still around the same people and the same influences.
Yeah, that would be...
They get reincarnated also.
Man, well, then if that's the case, then I would hope I retain everything that I learned in this life in some form or fashion to help guide me into a better, prosperous life in the next. Fingers crossed. Hopefully that happens.
Yeah, that's the theory of oneness.
man,
you're elevating yourself just enough to get to the next life where you take the things that you've learned and it's the slowest grain of sand falling ever.
Yeah. Well, shit, dude, this has been the most philosophical episode to date. So thank you for all your time.
Things I didn't think would happen.
I don't have a sponsor yet for this podcast. Do you want to have a free sponsorship and tell us about what your next show is? We can use that as, you could be my sponsor.
Yeah.
You could be the sponsor for Resolute Media's podcast.
Cool. Resolute Media.
Tell us about your next show.
Oh man, the next show I know is happening is January 8th at Quack's Coffee House.
Okay, cool.
But I'm playing an awful lot around Austin up until then. I'm on the road. I'm in Albany on Thursday night, actually.
Wow.
Or Dalton, Massachusetts, but I'm flying to Albany. So I'll be there Thursday, October 2nd at the Stationery Factory in Massachusetts. And then I'll be in Sarasota, Florida in November. And I'll be in Dallas on October 25th. And I'm playing a ton of bars and hotels and wineries and private events and weddings all around Austin up through those.
Man, it sucks that you're sober.
What's that?
Because you're playing all these wineries and breweries?
It's amazing because I get to give gifts to everybody I care about.
All right, that's fine.
So I'll never walk in a dinner party without a bottle of wine.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Shout out to Senor.
Who's your airline that you fly?
Typically Delta, sometimes Southwest. I'm flying American twice this fall also.
Okay.
I'm not really loyal. And I fly United because my sister works there. And for personal things, I fly United.
Got it. Okay. Fair. I'm a Southwest guy. I did the companion pass, and so wife flies around with me for free.
It's the best.
It was the best, but they now have to do paid checked bags. Mm-hmm. I get free checked bags, but wife likes. Well, I guess it kind of works out in her favor because I really don't bring a checked bag. She uses my free checked bag.
Cool.
But I think a lot of musicians are in a stink about Southwest for not doing the free checked bags anymore.
Dude, I have so much to say about airline travel now, but
we have time. We're well over an hour, but everything after that is yeah. So
it just flew by.
It did.
I had no idea how long we were here.
How do we stop the time?
Make it stop. We weren't even on our phones at all.
Okay. No, I know. That's very true. One of my biggest gripe is that, it's with my wife in that she doesn't hold her position when the stewardess asks, let me back up. We had this issue. We got on a flight. We have this routine. Like if we can't get the 2 seats by the wing where it's just by ourselves, then we always go to the back.
Okay.
I like the window seat. She likes the aisle.
Match made in heaven.
Exactly. And so we always leave the middle seat open, I thought, until one day it was a full flight, and then the stewardess was trying to direct passengers back to us. I'm like, oh, fucking great. We're going to have someone sit between us. That's going to suck. And so there was a rather large American who was coming our way, and the stewardess was like, oh, you can sit between them. And then she noticed that we were a couple, and she asked me, hey, would you want to, maybe give up your seat so you can sit in the middle and let the man sit at the window? I go, no. And
no.
and then she asked, and so I put my headphones back on. She turned and asked my wife, and my wife crumbled. She was like, yeah, that's totally fine. And I had to hear a bitch about it the entire ride home from the airport. And she's like, I can't believe she did that to me. I can't believe she made me sit in the middle and made me give up my aisle seat. I go, well, you should have just said no.
I agree with you.
And we could have had a large American sit in between us, and that's fine. I would have been happy, but I was still happy because I still had the window seat.
Sure.
But I was like, yeah, Lauren, you got to hold your ground.
I agree with
you.
That
nice.
It is what it is. There's an accountability there.
Yeah, exactly.
She had an opportunity.
So that was my only gripe. Yours?
That's so funny, man. We do the same thing with like the Rain family. Notoriously bitches about choosing a dinner spot.
Oh.
So it's like, hey, you can't complain. You didn't speak up. You had an opportunity. You had the platform.
Yep.
You didn't say your piece, and we chose something that you didn't like.
And
tough.
Therefore, you can't bitch about it.
Tough.
Yeah.
Airlines in general suck. And having empty flights. I was on a Southwest flight coming back from Pittsburgh to Austin. There's one flight a day.
Okay.
Each way from Pittsburgh to Austin. They just started it.
Wow.
And I had an entire row to myself.
Oh, sick.
That never happens. It was the best.
I thought we're supposed to complain about airlines. What you're complimenting them?
Complain about
What's
airlines.
your complaints?
Okay. Complaints about
air flying in
prices.
Oh yeah, well,
price. I mean, I just feel like it's getting more expensive. Last year I started doing fly dates with my cello more.
Okay.
Before that, I was doing maybe one a year, but I think I was on a plane a dozen times, and I'm flying now with my cello 20 plus times this year. It's gonna be more next year.
And you're checking it, right?
So, in a prior life,
you have to, right? Because you can't take up all that overhead bin space.
It doesn't fit in the overhead.
Okay, good.
So historically speaking, you have to buy a seat for the cello. I have so many airline stories about the goddamn cello. Yeah. So
it's sitting in your seat.
It's me, you, and the cello. The cello sits between us. They usually make the cello sit on the window.
Okay.
And sometimes they'll let me board first. Sometimes they're like, somebody inevitably will stop you. Security always sucks.
Yeah.
Getting through TSA.
Do you have pre-check?
I do have pre-check.
Okay, good. And they still give you problems?
Sometimes they give me a lot of problems, and sometimes they're really respectful. It just always takes longer.
Yeah.
That's just always, I know I need to get there 2 hours before, just to make sure I feel good about it. This year I bought a carbon fiber cello that I can now check like a check bag.
It does look pretty sick.
It's great.
Yeah.
So that was the one I played at Meanwhile.
Yeah.
And now I check that one. I disassemble it and I tuck the bridge away because the bridge is wood and it's very fragile. Mm-hmm. And I put everything in bubble wrap and pack socks and t-shirts and whatever in the case. And then I check that. But having the credit cards, I have a Delta card, I have a Southwest card, and I'm probably going to get a United card. But you get free check bags with the credit cards.
Okay.
So I don't have to incur additional costs.
Yeah. There's a comedian, I forgot his name, but he was just kind of complaining that you pay so much for airfare and it's still shitty. Like,
yeah. It's so true. That doesn't sum it up.
Like you spend a fortune in first class and you're still like, it's just a normal seat. You're just paying for a normal seat, but yet it's first class
but it costs so much better.
Yeah. Well, it is. I know. We went our honeymoon to Scotland, and my father-in-law had a bunch of points, so we flew business class, and I wouldn't advise doing that because it spoils you rotten. After that, there was like no other way to fly, and it's so expensive that I was like, yeah, you just screwed us, Kent, because now I can't fly any other way.
We've been ruined. You've had your steak now.
Yeah, being able to lay down on a 10-hour flight, it's like that soothed all my travel anxiety, airplane anxiety. Like, I mean, we could have crashed in the Atlantic. I would have been totally fine. Laying down,
going out in a pile of blankets.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm good. Yeah, wine full of belly.
It's the same thing. Wine full of belly.
Wine.
I like wine full of belly.
I like my version better. Wine full of belly.
Keep that. It's the same thing with like going to a festival. Once you go to ACL with a VIP pass, you never want to be in the crowd again.
Yeah.
You're in the shade. You have drinks. Like you're next to the stage.
Yep. Are you playing ACL?
I almost did.
Whoa. Go on. What happened?
It's not that cool. It's kind of cool. One of my buddies is a kids rapper. He does birthday parties and he does like, kids events. So ACL hires him every year to do Austin Kitty Limits.
Oh, okay.
And he does like live looping and improvising and teaches kids like workshops, that kind of stuff. And I was going to join him this year at ACL as they make them official artists and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I ended up taking, I had a couple other gigs pop up that weekend.
Okay. All right.
But someday I'll be playing ACL maybe.
Yeah. It's not going anywhere. It'll be around for a long time. So you got plenty of time.
It's a great festival.
Yeah. I was supposed to go cover a show with the drummer, but another big job came in and I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. So I had to tell the guy, listen, man, I would love to do it, and I'd love to cut you a huge discount, but I just can't. Mm-hmm. Like my bank account is needing it right now.
It's the balance.
Yeah, I got to spend 3 days in Taylor, Texas, going after hunts, going after deer, covering them.
Cool.
It's not that cool.
You'll have fun.
The hunts are. I won't have fun.
You have to be quiet.
I'm practicing my deer blind voice. Be very Anyways, all right. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm just generally happy and excited for life.
Good, as you should.
And I hope everybody else feels that always. But if you don't feel that, I hope that you're working toward it. Actively working toward it. It doesn't just happen.
You should be a motivational speaker. Like, if this whole music career doesn't work out, please be a motivational speaker.
They're linked, man. They're not. They're always interconnected.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Bye. God bless.
Bye.